Hello, welcome to the third recording of my Ekphrastic challenge. It's the 8th of April, so I've missed a day or two, but I've been thinking about it. It's been in the back of my head for a while. So at this stage, I usually would just reread the poem out loud to myself, think about what changes might need to be made, and take it from there. I was thinking about David Hockney a little bit, like some of his work in terms of like colour and space, and I was continuing to think about the flaneur's nature of wandering around and observing and trying to immerse themselves in their surroundings. So let's have a look at the poem and see how I could change it today to improve it. The flaneur. They wandered over hills and saw the sights. The wind that blew in gusts of blue, the houses torn from red to brown, the fields crowded, with poppies, beaches filled with chairs, churches spying at the world. A break, a seam parted, a zip unzipped. They slipped between the gaps, 1 foot in the field, one on the train tracks, ready to be taken away. The smoke from chimneys, bonfires, pyres, laying down to rest, a yellowing sunset hidden behind spewing factories, satanic mills, clawing at the meadows. Wisps float overhead, sigh at the loss of day turning to night. The blades of grass point to stars. They cover their eyes and see home again. Right, so let's copy it over again, just like before, taking out that secondary image, don't need it repeated, and just think about handling, please. So there's a couple of things I just corrected the spelling and the grammar for while reading. That's the type of thing I find all the time. I wasn't plugging Harry Potter there, it's just a coincidence. I find that you don't notice the spelling of a word, or you use a similar sounding word to replace it or whatever. But then also reading out loud makes you hear what slips up and what's difficult to read. So there's sigh at the loss of day turning to night, into night, I suppose. It flows better anyway, so let's leave it like that. The flaneur. Is the title enough? Do I want it more? Maybe something referencing the end. The flaneur seeks a way home. The flaneur regrets their life choices. I like that as a sort of modern phrase, regretting your life choices, whereas this feels quite a sort of classic sort of setting for a poem, and the idea of the flaneur. The flaneur regrets their life. What about combining the two? The flaneur looks back. The flaneur looks back and regrets their life choices. There you go. I prefer that as a title. It's a bit more interesting, it's a bit more nuance to it as well. So that's pretty good. Let's cross those out. That sort of helps me organise my thoughts. The flaneur looks back and regrets their life choices. They wandered over hills and saw the sights. I'm happy with that one, Jean. The colon introducing the complex list with the semicolons. The wind that blew in gusts of blue. The houses torn from red to brown. The fields crowded with poppies. Beaches filled with chairs. Churches spying at the world. It brings to mind T.S. Eliot, doesn't it? Or was it just me? where April is the cruelest month. He ends that stanza with the verbs, doesn't he? Filled and spying and torn and blue and sore. Aspirational. Church is spying at the world. It also hints like Blake's London poem, because it's covering the city, the mills, the churches, the fact that he was a flaneur as well. A break, a seam parted, a zip unzipped. Maybe make them to emphasize the separation, make them short, ungrammatical sentences. Oh well, I don't know. They slip between the gaps, 1 foot in the field, 1 on the train tracks, ready to be taken away. The smoke. So those indented stanza starts, I'll try to sort of line up, almost as if it did start there, like it carried on, but as the stanza, so just enough space for it to sort of flow with your eye, I suppose. Just like the paint, the image makes makes your eye flow to the next part almost seamlessly. The smoke from chimneys, bonfires, pyres. Do I need all 3? I mean, all 3 serve different purposes, and the tricolon is a nice way of having the line structured. Laying down to rest a yellowing sunset. Yellowing, there's a problem with yellowing because it's too obvious. Sunsets typically are yellow, so... Oh, stain. Laying down to rest the stained sky. There you go. You've got the alliteration, you've got the negative connotations. Perfect. Thank you, Microsoft Word's synonym feature. Hidden behind spewing factories. Satanic mills. I reckon a dash for that. But let's put the dash on the next line, so it's almost as if it's owned by Satan there. Satanic mills clawing at the meadows. No, I like that break. Wisps float overhead. Sigh at the loss of day turning into night. Turning is falling. Have I used the word falling before? I mean, if it's done purposely, there's not a problem with that, is there? But you want to have as much variety in the vocabulary. Maybe, you know, depending upon the poem, maybe the repetition is important. But this type of poem, especially with the variety inherent within the image, I'd want as much variety as possible. Wisps float overhead, sigh at the loss of day falling into night. The blades of grass point to stars. They cover their eyes and see home again. Yeah. I like that. I think I'm going to keep today short and sweet. I don't know how long that is already, but anyway. 8 minutes, that's not too bad. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind. At some point, I might do sort of more dramatic redrafting, maybe start from scratch and compare, maybe edit out. But I'm happy with that today as a tinkering more than a complete redraft. Reminder that I've got, well, it's a 6-page document at the moment, each page with slightly different versions or those notes that happened there before, so that's always useful to have, and I can always go back. So this would be the version that I edit next time. So I've got that as a draft, and that will be with the brand new title. That will be the edited version for next time. Okay, I'll see you guys later.